Hi everyone, it's Dani. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to discuss about how to care for Beallara orchids. Now these orchids were recently renamed to Aliceara, but as far as I understand both names are okay. You'll most likely find it under the name of Beallara though, it's the most popular one. Now I find these orchids to be pretty hardy. My particular one was purchased at a discount and it made a full recovery within 8 months. It went from not having any roots to blooming in about 8 months, and in my book that tends to be quite hardy. Now, this orchid is a very complex hybrid, and because she has in her parentage all sorts of orchids like Oncidiums and Miltonias and Brassias, she really doesn't like to dry out completely. I usually keep her moist, not soggy, and when I see that the medium is starting to dry out, it's not completely dry, but it's almost there, I give it a good soak and she's really happy. You will notice that it will need water when the pseudobulbs start to wrinkle up slightly. So that's your cue to water it actually. And because she doesn't like to dry out, but she really doesn't like to be suffocated either, I think a good mix for her would be either sort of a small bark, either a mixture between bark and coconut husk or bark and sphagnum moss. Whatever you like, whatever you find it works for you. Just don't suffocate the roots, keep the mix airy but also more water retentive. Now regarding light, she really isn't fussy. I kept this orchid in pretty much intermediate light. I gave her bright sunlight in the morning time, but then from about 11 o'clock she didn't receive any more sunlight and she seems to enjoy it. She does like bright light, but not direct sunshine. I wouldn't keep her in direct sun in the hot hours because you can really get some sunburns. These leaves don't really do so good with very hot sun. Regarding temperatures, she's very tolerant as well. I would say a good temperature for her would be somewhere in between 18 degrees at night and 26 degrees during daytime. She can handle more cold temperatures than this and obviously hotter temperatures than this, but I wouldn't go with those extremes for too long. Other than that, I think if you feel comfortable, she will feel comfortable as well. Also, I fertilized this orchid just like any other orchid that I have. In the growing season, I used a high nitrogen fertilizer once every 2 weeks, but of course, if you have a different routine, that will work as well. So when I noticed the tiny little flower spikes started to grow, I actually started to fertilize with the bloom booster, and I really like the results. So anyway, fertilize this orchid just like you would any other orchid. Don't overdo it with fertilizer, obviously, and other than that it should be just fine. I discovered she's not really fussy with humidity either. I kept her in a part of my balcony that it's not really humid. I didn't keep her with the Miltoniopsis, and she didn't really seem to mind it. I didn't even get wrinkled leaves. So I'm guessing again that she's very hardy regarding humidity as well, and you don't really have to go overboard. Also, Beallaras can be quite different amongst each other. This particular one has tiny pseudobulbs. They're really not big, not very plump. Also, the foliage is not really super huge. Flowers are a decent size, I would say. I really like them. This particular one is fragrant. Some of them are fragrant, some are not fragrant. It really depends. They are very complex hybrids, but nonetheless, I find them beautiful. So yeah, I guess that's about it on Beallaras. As I told you, they're really hardy orchids. They got the best out of their parents, and if you treat it like an Oncidium, pretty much like an Oncidium, it should do just fine. I think the main thing she really enjoys is moisture around the roots. So I would not let it go super dry. I don't think she can handle it that well, but other than that, I don't think she's very fussy. Reblooming this orchid, I think, has nothing to do with anything else other than good care and good conditions. Maybe a small temperature drop between nighttime and daytime might help. I'm not entirely sure about that, really. So I guess adequate care and good conditions will surely give you a ton of blooms. My particular one misses 3 blooms. There has been an accident in my balcony. But anyway, so yeah, that's about it on Beallara orchids. I hope you managed to keep yours healthy and happy if you have a Beallara. And if you want to try out a Beallara, I would definitely suggest it. I find it pretty easy to care for. So okay, thank you for watching. If you want to see other videos regarding orchids, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to leave me questions or suggestions, do so in a comment and I'll try to get back to you. So I'll see you next time. Bye!